go get outdoors with Geoff, make the best of time that you got left. Hunting and fishing under the sun. But even if it rains, I'm gonna have some fun. Come on, let's go get outdoors with Geoff.
Look at that lake Wakatip. We left Queenstown and we're driving around the edge of the lake, heading south, heading towards Garston. We're going to meet up with Tom at Welcome Rock Station. Last time we were here, we were fishing on the lake, just down here, and with a mate's boat, and fly fishing with dry flies along the shoreline where the waves were blowing the insects onto the shoreline, catching brown trout. Fantastic. Totally different from the sort of fishing you do in the North Island. Just about at my destination, an hour south of Queenstown, but I had to stop at this beautiful little place, Garston. I've heard a lot about it, a lot of trout fishing around here. I can see the old hotel over there, but this is what caught my attention. It looks like an American Route 66 trailer. So I think hamburgers in the middle of Southland. I reckon we can get some damn good hamburgers. And this is where we're going, Welcome Rock. Very well known for biking, tramping. I'm sure there'll be lots of deer and wild pigs and hares and all sorts of things up there, but I've got no rifles, no guns. I'm here to have a walk. Trailer 66. I think there's a connection with Route 66, the favourite song. Get your kicks. And Garston. This is a genuine Airstream.
It is, yeah. We imported it from the States, from Washington State, last year.
Yeah, fantastic.
So 1966 years.
1966.
Hence the name Trailer 66, because she was made in 1966.
Made in 1966. And you don't stay in it though, you've turned it into a kitchen, haven't you?
We have, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been completely gutted as a caravan, and yeah, we've turned it into a commercial kitchen.
And what are the most popular hamburgers, tell me?
Oh, the Garston Monster, because it's a challenge, eh? The name makes it a challenge.
Well, I think I'll have a lamb burger, but I don't know about the tzatziki. But you can put some barbecue sauce.
Barbecue on it? Great, thanks very much. I'll give you a shout when it's ready.
You're fine, so kind. Got to tell this world that you're mine. That you finally all done and that's what hold my thumb.
Even got the music from 1966. I love it. Just about Jeffrey's vintage too. Not quite.
And there's your hamburger.
There we are, fantastic.
Great, thanks very much.
66 lamb burger. Can't wait, Southland lamb.
You enjoy.
Thank you.
See ya.
Oh, look at that. Oh, and that's not a supermarket hamburger bun, that looks like a homemade ciabatta or something. Oh, man. Seriously good hamburger. That burger was fantastic, a welcome surprise. And just around the corner is our destination, Welcome Rock Trails, created and operated by farmer Tom O'Brien.
Myself from Germany.
Yeah, so, boy, this looks good. Fantastic. This is your place, Tom?
Yep, it's the family farm.
Welcome Rock.
Welcome
I
Rock.
like the name. Where did the name come from?
Well, the actual name of the farm is Blackmore.
Oh, yeah.
But Welcome Rock, the name comes from the very prominent rock on the skyline, which we'll have a look at later on.
Okay.
It's the highest point of the farm,
Yep.
and it was a trading post for early settlers. It was a very welcoming spot because it was the highest point of the range, and it also had a spring out the back of it, so guys could sort of water their horses and so on and so forth. So.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So you can show us where we're going to go?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got this map here. We've got Queenstown here, which is about an hour's drive north of where we are in Garston. We're at this point here, and today we're going to make our way up the farm road here, all the way over to the mud hut. We've spent the last sort of 2.5 to 3 years planning and building this trail, half of which is on the Roaring Lion water race, which is a historic mining race. It's a walking trail and a mountain bike trail.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we're going to stay up in this hut. That's probably probably a bit different from the Novotel Hotel at the Auckland Airport, I suspect, is it?
Yeah, well, we've certainly got more sky.
Got more sky,
Yeah.
better views, I'll bet. Better views. Oh
Yeah.
no, fantastic. And a lot of history, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh well, let's load them up. We'll put all the gear on the bikes and we'll get up the hill.
Great.
Very important to wear the old helmets on the bikes now, isn't it? There's too many people have come to grief. Ready to hit that welcome rock. Be most welcome. I always love heading up into the high country of the South Island. The scenery and the people make it very special. And when you come from the city, you start relaxing as soon as you leave your car. We usually have a rifle, as hunting is a way of life on high country stations, but this is going to be a relaxing adventure. And the gold mining history is a huge part of the story of how these properties developed. And we're going to relive some of that history when we stay overnight in an old hut made from blocks of earth, a mud sod hut.
Home, sweet home. Well, that could tell some stories.
How old is it, Tom?
Originally it was built in the early 1900s, and then sort of over the years it degraded, you know, the weather and cattle and all that knocked it over, and then we rebuilt it in 1990 out of sod mud bricks, 300 sod mud bricks. You can see they're sort of cut in a diagonal angle and they're sort of slotted into place there.
Yeah, so that you just dug the mud out of the hillside.
Yep, right behind the hut here, literally took it out and then slotted them into place.
And that's what they had to do in those days. There was no other way.
No other way.
Fantastic. Why would they build it here?
Well, this hut was built here for the Chinese racekeeper. There's a water race just 10 metres down below us called the Roaring Lion Water Race. It was used for gold mining. And of course they needed guys to maintain and look after the race. So that was the reason why this hut was built here. There was a solitary Chinaman who lived in this hut. And so the guys took 3 years, 30 men, 3 years to build this race by hand, pick and shovel, and they used that water course to drive water down into the Nokamai goldfields.
That was in the 1800s.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable. Anybody home? Not yet. I love my hot water, and this is what I do for hot water at the Batch at the lake. When you're ready for the luxurious wonder of steady, hot and strong hot water, install a Rheem continuous flow gas water heater for hot water that goes on and on and on. Coming up, cooking banana splits by candlelight.
Ready to go.
Don't drop it, Jeffrey. Look at that.
Come on, let's go, get outdoors with Geoff. Outdoors with Geoff.
Check out the hot deals on our new website, GT Tackle. See my own gear at the sharpest prices direct to you. Oh, nice. The GT Killer Snapper rig was designed by top charter skipper Lenny Ramick, and it's the deadliest trace rig I've ever seen. And the GT Killer Flasher rig comes with a sinker ready to go. Plus, my own secret, a sliding hook hard on the bottom, right where the fish are. See the sliding bottom hook on the Flasher rig, mate? Works every time. Only at gttackle.co.nz. Our accommodation tonight is a 100-year-old sod hut in the mountains south of Queenstown. And it looks as if I could have a bath before dinner. You put your glass of Pinot Noir right there, and you take off all your clothes, which we won't do now because we don't want to scare everybody. And you fill it with water, Tom, and then light the gas underneath it. Ha-ha! Hot bath!
Hot bath.
And look at the view. And got the guardian here when you're having a bath. Rudolph keeps an eye on you. I think you might need to see the dentist, the orthodontist. He's had a few problems with his teeth, but he's doing a good job watching there. And I bet there's some stags in those gullies down there in that bush. Ooh, I could just see them. Let's go and light the fire. We usually used to use the old flint and steel in the old days, but now got a matches. The weather in the mountains can change in a heartbeat, which is why you always have to be prepared in terms of the gear you carry. and our fire is going to be most welcome. No sweat. We made it just in time. As we're coming up the hills, you can see on the mountains on the other side of the valley, the snow clouds. It's the middle of May, well, getting towards the end of May actually, and it's not surprising it's getting a bit cold and windy, but there was snow in the mountains on the west coast, and it's coming our way. You can see the clouds coming, the wind is honking, so I think I'll put off the bath till tomorrow morning. Here we go, Blackmore. That's the name of the station. These old candle holders look like they've had a lot of use. Don't know what they ate. Probably not as well as we're going to eat tonight, I guarantee it.
Very good, thank you.
Well, here we are in the 120-year-old mud hut, drinking a little drink out of a silver pewter mug. Now, how good is that? You come up here in the middle of the mountains, and Tom produces a silver pewter mug, and I won't tell you what he got in it, but it isn't a cup of tea. Now, we're doing it like they used to cook 120 years ago, on the fire. I'm just chopping up some broccoli and some mushrooms, and we're just improvising. What you do, it's a bit like being on the boat. You always improvise. So we've got one pot there, which has got potatoes chopped up, and once they're boiling, we'll put in the vegetables, the broccoli and the mushrooms. Tom's cooking the sausages on the pan on the fire, and the vegetables will just be a mishmash with butter. How are we going, Tom?
Yeah, pretty good, Geoff.
He likes these caps, and he loves these caps of mine because you can see what he's doing.
Look at that.
You can see what he's doing.
Gourmet.
Look at that.
Gourmet styles.
We actually had some soup in there earlier, but you don't bother washing the soup out. You just cook the potatoes, the vegetables, and what's left of the soup. All adds to the flavour, which is what you do when you've only got one pot and one frying pan to work with. But you can't beat cooking on a real fire. You don't cook like this in Germany, do you, Marcel?
Nah, not
No.
really.
You guys got electricity over there, I've heard.
Yeah, in the most part of Germany.
Most
yeah.
part? Oh, I'm sure. We've actually got a fair bit in New Zealand too, in some places. A pot of veggies are bubbling away beautifully there, and we've got a cup of tea on here for Marcel, so we've got both elements on. Sausages are in the warming drawer. So it's a multi-purpose unit, this, and it keeps us warm. Oh, look at that. Vegetable mash.
Thank you.
Welcome Rock sausages. Well, they're cooked at Welcome Rock. Amazing what you can make do with. Doesn't get any better, Tom.
It doesn't get any better.
Beautiful,
Nah,
mate.
No.
Beautiful.
I'm biased, but hey, you know,
Absolutely.
try and prove me wrong. Almost as good as German curry bratwurst.
Oh, pretty good, yeah. I would say a little bit better.
A little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, mate. Well, we finished our first course, and I know this dinner was taking a long time, but, you know, it's dark out there, and there's not much else we can do. There's no TV, there's no power, there's no electricity, so we're having a great time entertaining ourselves. But I bought some bananas, and Tom said, I've got some chocolate. So what are we going to do, Tom?
Oh, look, banana splits. It's the Kiwi classic, eh?
Banana
that.
splits.
Banana splits. You just get your banana, run the knife through it, like filleting a fish, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
Eh?
mate.
Look at that.
Exactly.
And then you just open the banana up like that. Look at that.
Dessert chocolate, banana splits
I
coming
feel
up.
like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. Look at
Oh,
that.
mate,
The gold foil.
This is a little bit different from the chocolate factory. We're at Welcome Rock. We're in the mud hut,
Look at that.
1,000 miles from anywhere. Oh, look at that. Ha ha!
Ready to go.
Okay, I got the tongs. Here we go. Here we go now. Don't drop it, Jeffrey. Look at that. I reckon that looks like the chocolate element.
That's pretty cool. Never saw that before.
Here we go, Tom. You can test it, mate. You can have the first
Oh,
one.
wow, look at this.
Prototype. I reckon it's the mud chocolate split.
Get onto it.
Oh yeah, I think we're onto something here.
Oh, where do you
We're
start?
definitely onto something
Right,
here.
okay.
Mate, people are going to come from all over New Zealand for the mud chocolate
Oh my
banana
God.
split.
That is
Is that good?
beautiful.
Unbelievable. Huh? Unbelievable.
Homegrown in every sense of the word. Absolutely outstanding.
Bananas
Lovely.
grown just around the corner.
Look, just outside the hut here.
That's pretty funny.
I love my hot water, and this is what I do for hot water at home. Life's better with mains pressure. You'll love having steady, hot and strong hot water when you install a Rheem mains pressure hot water cylinder. Life's better.
Install a Rheem, install a Rheem.
Coming up, from bananas to some of the challenges Tom faced when building the trail.
Mainly picks.
Fantastic. How long did that take you?
It took us about 2 years.
Let's go, get outdoors with Geoff. Get outdoors with Geoff.
Check out the hot deals on our new website GT Tackle, plus tips and tricks to catch more fish, like the new Kavura jig with the sliding head, as seen on the Wave Dancer Charters TV shows, exclusively at gttackle.co.nz. We slept like logs in the bunks in the mud hut, and as it does in the mountains, the weather changed again. I think a brisk walk is needed to blow out the cobwebs.
Morning. There you go.
We woke up this morning to the most beautiful day. Crystal clear morning and a dusting of snow. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. So I went for a little walk down to the outhouse just down there to take care of a few things, and sitting there with the door open, you're looking at the bush and half expecting a deer to stick its head out and say hello. And it's fascinating, the story here. This is what Jimmy Long would have seen when he got up in the morning, the Chinaman who lived here about 100 years ago, and his job was to maintain the water race, which took water from the Roaring Lion Valley, which is 40 kilometres that way, and all the way from there round over the hill to the Nokamai Valley, where there was a gold mine operating and used the water to sluice out the gold. And that gold mine apparently operated right up to the mid-1940s. And every 6 kilometres along this water race, there'd be a hut like this, with, in those days, the Chinaman living there, and his job was to maintain it and make sure it didn't get blocked and fix the walls if it blew out. And it's the longest existing water race in New Zealand, still here. So we're going to go and have a look at the race a bit later today, and then I might have to stoke up the bath, and you've got to have a bath looking at this. The reason they brought the water from the Roaring Lion 40 k's away was it had the height, so the water had a fall, so the water would come down through gravity to give them the volume of moving water at the other end. Had to have that height difference, so the water would have come down here and all the way around to get the gold. Marcel is visiting from Germany, and he's a keen mountain biker, so he takes every opportunity to go for a ride on some of the 27 kilometres of trails that Tom has created on the property. I'm not much of a cyclist, but we took the opportunity to check out some of the trails, and this is much easier going than the hunting that we're used to. In fact, you don't have to be a fitness fanatic to enjoy this experience.
Oh, here we go. Fresh water. I need a drink too. Ah, that is so good. Fresh, tingling, cool. So much better than the water you get in the plastic bottle in the supermarket. This is the real thing. Oh, man, that's beautiful. Oh, so Tom, you built this track by hand, just like the old blokes did 120 years ago with their race. You had to do it all. You weren't allowed to use machinery.
No, it was part of an archaeological authority, and we wanted to do it like they did as well, sort of tell a story.
Yep.
So yeah, we just hand built with the stone and the creek, just sort of
butt them together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the whole track, what is it, 27 kilometres right round?
Yep, it's a 27k loop.
Yep, and that's all done by hand.
Well, 21k of it is done by hand.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, and what, with picks and shovels?
Yep.
Yep.
Mainly picks.
Yep, fantastic. Fantastic. How long did that take you?
It took us about 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed it's a pretty easy walk, good for old blokes like me.
Oh, yeah.
You know, nice gradient.
Yep, young and old.
Yep.
It's ideal for families. We always had a rule that we would build the trail between 3 and 5 degrees.
Which means it's not much, no steep bits,
Exactly.
basically. Fantastic. there's another little hut where people can stay.
Yep, this is the slate hut, so
Yep.
it's a relatively new hut.
Yeah.
Just has a completely different aspect.
Yes,
Sort of
does.
overlooking the Eyre Mountains over here.
Fantastic.
Which, pretty amazing, yeah.
Yeah, and I notice you always have a bath where you build a
Oh,
hut.
you got to have a bath.
Got to have a bath.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Soak
And-
in the view.
That's right, and but people, they can also camp, bring their own tents, and you've got a camping site.
Yep, we've got a separate campsite again.
Yep.
There's another emergency sort of shelter there as well, sort
Yep.
of in keeping with the musterer's hut sort of
Okay,
style.
fantastic.
Yep.
So it's the total experience, isn't it? Just fantastic. And you're what, 4th generation on this property? You've got a real connection to it, don't you?
Yeah. We've been here since 1911.
Yeah.
And I do. It's my job to sort of look after the place. We're guardians, as it were, and we're sort of putting the foundation in for the next generation. Really,
Yeah.
that's the aim.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Tell you what, if you want a real high country experience, only an hour south of Queenstown, bring the family, easy walking, camping, beautiful spot. Check out Welcome Trails, Welcome Rock Trails.
Welcome Rock Trails. That's it.
I like the way Tom's got baths popped around the hills here at Welcome Rock. Look at this. Lovely little view. What a place to have a bath. All I need is the hot water, really. But we won't stoke up the gas cylinder today because we're going to head down and have another hamburger at the Route 66 caravan to finish off our trip. But I'll tell you what, can't imagine a better spot to have a bath. You can find GT tackle at selected Maiko plumbing stores. Pukekohe Toyota and the Hilux get us into the hills and through the rough stuff. And the Polaris takes us into the steepest country. Profile boats conquer the water in style. Yamaha provides the grunt, Furuno helps us find the fish, and the Profile boat is supplied by Furman's Marine in Napier. For all your hot water needs, go to ream.co.nz or see your local plumbing merchant. Next week we're at the Moats with some keen fishermen from Christchurch, and a variety of fish makes their journey a special one. That's a fish. Hey!
Launch or a four-wheel drive makes you feel so happy just to be alive. Come on, let's go get outdoors with Geoff. Make the best of time that you got left. Hunting and fishing under the sun. But even if the rain's gonna have some fun, come on, let's go get outdoors with Geoff.